Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got a brand new bingo sheet this week, and it is pinned to the top of the Twitter page at Pat Unleashed. And you want to be the first to call when you get a bingo at 888-900-3393 to claim your prizes, which are $30 worth of merchandise from PatGrayShop.com and a dozen cookies from KexyCookies.com. It starts this week in the upper left-hand corner with me saying, what a maroon. Then we have Jeffy. You know him, you love him. Stephen A. Smith.
That's a good point.
This is from last week.
Yes.
It's already a classic.
He's fast at just too muck and fudge.
Me using the Jackie voice. Like maybe, Burr, I'm cold. It's cold, Burr. Burr, I'm cold. Then, if I may be so bold, Chris saying...
Fat cheeks.
Oh, fat cheeks. Oh, yeah. That's a synonym for fact check, if you recall.
I do recall. I think that was also from last week, wasn't it? Jake Tapper.
Joe Biden has been saying stupid things for decades.
Okay. Keith with...
Oh, we innocent. Oh, yeah, the New Orleans escapees.
Trump.
They're getting their ass kicked.
Jeffy with innards. Trump saying this.
2 + 2 is 4.
There you go. Hard to argue with that.
Right.
Really. Talking about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Also me saying, will anything come of it? And the answer is almost always no. I mean, if something's going to come of it, you don't really have to ask the question, do you? Then we talk about clubbing baby seals.
Oh, yeah, that's your pastime.
Jake Tapper.
Trump was right.
Got a couple of Tapper things this time around. Keith.
Oh, this is a Pat line. Good,
really is.
Good safety tip.
But it's got you saying it.
I guess so. Good safety
listen
tip.
for
yeah.
Keith saying that. John McClane.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Is that from the first?
Yeah, Die Hard.
Die Hard?
Because there's a lot of people that have just recently arrived to the party of common sense.
Welcome to the party, pal.
From Jeffy. Why don't you calm down? Big Mike.
Well, I couldn't stand my husband.
And frankly, I can't stand her or him or whatever the case may be.
Oh, no.
Chris with...
That's fair.
Me saying that's AI. Then we have douche reference. Donald Trump again.
You don't have the cards.
Keith.
Irregardless, which I'd like to point out, not a word.
Not a word. Certainly is not. And they haven't even, I don't think they've even included that in the dictionary.
Right. Now that the language is so lazy.
Yeah.
Even still.
They've included a lot of stuff, but still, irregardless, not among the treasured words in the English language. And then I speak song lyrics, which is pretty much a free square, usually. All right. So yesterday afternoon, there was another terror attack on a peaceful group in Boulder, Colorado. They were there to show support for the Israeli hostages still being held by Hamas in the Gaza Strip. 8 people from 52 to 88 were injured yesterday when a 45-year-old Egyptian national, Mohammed Sabri Soliman, yelled, "Free Palestine," and threw incendiary devices into the crowd. He entered the country in 2022 under Joe Biden and then overstayed a visa, and he's been in the U.S. illegally now for 2 years.
Yeah, I want you to see this headline from NBC News. Do we have that, fellas? Because I did not understand. Look at this thing.
The FBI is investigating an attack in Boulder, Colorado that injured multiple Gaza hostage awareness marchers. A suspect is in custody.
So muddled, and they have to get the word Gaza in there. They can't say it was for Israel, and they can't say it was for the Israeli hostages. It's very strange.
Weird.
And MSNBC labeled him as a white male very quickly.
No.
Was that a picture of him?
That was a picture of
fat
him.
Fat guy without the shirt?
Yes.
There he is. Okay, not super fat, but a little tubby. Little tubby. He's an Egyptian, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And he's evil.
Yeah, I mean, this didn't used to happen all the time. Why is this happening so much now? It's just the anti-Semitic uproar in our nation right now. And it's inspiring people like this nut job.
Yeah, it's bad. And the FBI, they
actually labeled it terrorism
immediately.
Though.
Yeah. And shout out to the Democrat governor Jared Polis, who quickly called it terrorism as well.
Good. Local police chief hours later was still refusing to call it a terror attack.
Weird.
Here he is.
FBI is already calling it a targeted terror attack. Mm-hmm. Would you also refer to it as a terror attack?
So I've been in contact with our local FBI multiple times. We are in contact with them here. We are not calling it a terror attack at this point. Again, it's way too early to speculate motive. I know there's a lot out there on social media, but I ask people just to give us a little bit of patience while we work through a really complex scene. A lot of witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do that, I think the picture will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
Okay.
You got to be kidding me. What's so complex about it?
I don't know, man.
What is the complexity here? It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
A freak hater, anti-Semitic hater who wants Israel destroyed, hurt people with Molotov cocktails. That doesn't seem all that complicated to me. And if the FBI can call it a terrorist attack, certainly the local police can.
Yeah, somebody online referred to him as Boulder Bob. And that is very accurate.
No kidding.
If you recall the Baghdad Bob days.
Yeah, that was a while ago now.
Right.
Because that was the first Gulf War, right? There were no troops around Baghdad.
Mm-hmm. And they were in the city. Baghdad Bob.
Was it in 2003 that happened? 2002, 2003, whenever. I think it was the first Gulf War. Was it not?
I mean, I can Google it if you'd
Google
like.
It. Yeah, Google it.
Otherwise, you're going to let this thing fester, aren't you?
Seems like that was the first time around, but maybe not.
Okay, let's see here.
There are no Americans anywhere near here.
He came to worldwide prominence around the 2003 invasion of Iraq.
Okay, it is 2003. Wow, that's sooner than I thought. More recently than I thought.
This guy. There he is, old Baghdad Bob. There are no Americans in the city.
Remember that?
Statues are falling. They are not here. This guy.
And we lost him.
Shoot.
We lost him, I think, during one of the bombings, didn't we?
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, no. Yeah. Baghdad Bob. When did you pass on? Let's
Sad. We lost him.
Did we? Okay, I don't know. I'm not seeing a death here.
All right. Okay. Over the weekend, Joe Biden came out of hiding. I bet that was fun. Here's how it went.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the prognosis is good. We're working on everything. It's moving along. So I feel good.
Have you decided on your treatment options?
Yeah, we have. And they're underway. And all the folks are very optimistic.
And so you've started treatment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Would you be willing to share what exactly that entails?
Well, it's all a matter of taking a pill, one particular pill, and for the next 6 weeks and then another one. And the expectation is we're going to be able to beat this. It's not in any organ. It's my bones are strong. I hadn't penetrated, so I'm feeling good.
Sir, why
I feel like everybody expects. Sorry.
I've done it all because I'm loyal. I do it every damn year. At the very beginning. You never forget where I came from. That's why.
I feel like everybody didn't know what to expect of you today, and then you get here and you're speaking powerfully, you look good, you're confident. What do you say to all those people? Don't count you out.
Well, I say lots of luck in their senior year.
What has this been like for your family? Obviously, this is also an emotional time. This is the 10-year anniversary of your son, Bo's passing. You received this diagnosis just 2 weeks before that.
Well, we're all optimistic about the diagnosis. Matter of fact, one of the leading surgeons in the world was working with me. Mm-hmm. And he had diagnosed with the same exact thing 32 years ago. He's alive and well, doing very well. Mm-hmm. So we're optimistic. We're optimistic.
And there's also been a lot of discussion recently about your mental and physical capabilities while you were in office.
Who's going to love this?
I'm mentally incompetent, and I can't walk, and I can beat the hell out of both of them.
Well, do you want to reply to any of those reports, and also to the fact that there are some Democrats who are now questioning whether you should have run for re-election in the first place?
Why didn't they run against me then?
He cried.
Because I'd have beaten them.
Do you have any regrets?
No, I don't have any regrets. Look, there's a lot going on, and
he's good.
Yeah, he is.
I think we're in a really difficult moment, not only in American history, but in world history.
Inflection point. Say it.
I think we're one of those inflection points in history.
Yes.
Where the decisions we make in the next little bit are going to determine what things look like for the next 20 years. I've been talking about that for a long time, and I'm very proud. I'll put my record as president against any president at all. You notice the 10 leading presidential historians rated me pretty good up on that list, and the guy I ran against, I rated him the last. So we'll see. Watch me.
You have your grandson with you today. What's it mean to have your family here and be able to look out at him while you're talking?
It feels good. Look, that's my son, Bo's son. And Bo started coming here with me about the same age.
All right, I've had enough of this guy. I can't take it. I hate how he gets. And why does nobody talk about this? How he gets into people's personal space when he's pissed off and tries to intimidate them. 2 women. He did that. He did that to both these female reporters. What are you doing? Get out of my face, old man. What's the matter with you?
Physical capabilities while you were in office.
You can see that. I'm mentally incompetent, and I can't walk. And I
we can see that.
Both of them.
Who's he talking about?
And again, he's talking about Tapper
Is he?
And his co-author.
He could beat the hell out of both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make sure he's not.
How many times does he go to that? By the way, that he wants to fight somebody.
Yeah.
The fat guy, back in 1988, he did it to a group of reporters. He does it over and over and over and over. He threatened he wanted to take Trump behind the schoolyard or something and fight him.
Joe Biden has been saying stupid things for decades.
Yes, he has.
He is the worst.
He's awful. Awful. And then he gets all pissed off that people are talking about his mental capabilities. Still. After it's been proven and everybody admits it now. Yeah, we covered that up for 4 years. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. And don't ask him legitimate questions about his health.
Nope.
I'll kick their ass, both of them.
Okay. Yeah. That's what it always goes to for him. So that's who he's threatening is Jake Tapper. I'd like to see him fight Jake Tapper. That'd be fun.
I think I posted I don't know if it was a poll or a question, but the big thing about 100 men versus a gorilla. How about 100 Bidens versus a Donald Trump? I still think Trump wins that.
Trump wins. Yep. Then there was this Joe Biden revelation from Senator Josh Hawley.
Wow.
Listen, I'll tell you something that I haven't said before because it came from a Secret Service whistleblower this past year. I talked to so many of them after the attempted assassinations of President Trump. But this Secret Service whistleblower actually was assigned to Biden, and he told me that Biden used to get lost in his closet in the mornings in the White House.
I believe it.
I mean, the guy literally stumbling around in the White House residence couldn't find his way out of his own closet. The president of the United States. I mean, this is outrageous.
Gosh.
We were lied to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe it. Couldn't find a way. It's probably a pretty big closet.
Okay.
But still.
Okay.
Still.
Regardless.
Yes.
You should still be able to make your way out of there, man.
I think that's true. I think that's fair.
Oh, bad.
Even if it's a really, really big walk-in closet, you should be able to find your way out of it.
God.
When you're president of the United States, you should have the mental faculty to find your way out of your closet.
I mean, the Democrats got what they wanted in President Biden.
Mm-hmm.
They got the empty shell that they could plug in their Marxist theories into and their policies, and they got it. But they just didn't realize that this guy was going to be that mentally checked out, that it was going to be lost in the closet time. President of the United States, man. Oh, God.
That's incredible. Wow. All right. Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. This is such a great company. This is the company Glenn started because he had a really bad experience with a realtor. And so he wanted to find the best realtors all over the country and set you up with them. And he wanted to do that as a free service to you. Just set you up with the realtor, and then you've got somebody who really knows what they're doing as you're trying to buy or sell a home or do both because you're relocating. There's so many decisions to make. You really need somebody who has a great track record and understands what people are looking for in a home to help you make those decisions and relieve some of that stress when it comes to moving. It's nothing worse. So go to Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name really says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed is here.
You know, he's still so indignant about his health situation, but the further we get from his presidency, the more the truth comes out. Last summer, a government whistleblower said this about the Biden administration's immigration policies.
What I discovered was horrifying. Make no mistake, children were not going to their parents. They were being trafficked with billions of taxpayer dollars by a contractor failing to vet sponsors and process children safely, with government officials complicit in it. In June of 2021, I discovered the first case of trafficking, and along with my counterpart, Tara Rodas, reported it. But children continued to be sent to dangerous locations with improperly vetted sponsors. One case in Florida had over 12 children linked to one sponsor at multiple addresses. Children were sent to addresses that were abandoned houses or non-existent in some cases. In Michigan, a child was sent to an open field. Even after we reported making a 911 call after hearing someone scream for help, yet the child was still sent.
Jeez.
Nothing was done about any of this.
Also, over the weekend, we learned that the Biden-Harris administration ignored 65,000, well over 65,000 reports regarding migrant children, including more than 7,300 reports of human trafficking.
Oh, God.
So RFK Jr. and HHS are investigating all of that right now, but it's
because the Biden team, when they were people like Deborah White, the whistleblower there, and others, they did nothing. The Biden administration, they were
they ignored it.
They were complicit in it. They were human traffickers themselves. Our tax dollars went to traffic young children in this country. It's
really true.
It's evil, man.
We also learned that Biden was publicly saying one thing and privately saying another after that train derailment. Remember the train derailment in Ohio and the chemical burn-off in East Palestine, Ohio? Remember these pictures from the train derailment?
Oh, gosh.
Look at that. Wow.
Oh, and then the one above the clouds is even more.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Oof. So all through that region, you're breathing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Congratulations.
And I was researching, looking for these pictures over the weekend, and I found this map that the government, the Biden administration, just shut down after about a couple of weeks, maybe, I don't know, less than that, because it showed where the toxic air was blowing from Ohio, Pennsylvania, up to the Northeast, and they just shut the site down. They were just like, you know what, we're going to stop tracking this toxic air.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Wow. Well, there was only 115,000 gallons of carcinogenic vinyl chloride undergoing that open burn. So don't worry about it. I'm sure it was fine. I'm sure it's fine. Team Biden failed to closely monitor the water supply.
Yeah.
I remember J.D. Vance going to Ohio when he was senator and checking out the water there and showing what had happened to it and the changes in the streams and rivers around there.
That's right. Yeah, livestock were dying all over the place in that region. But no, you're fine. You're fine.
So, yeah, everything's fine. Don't even worry about it. New emails just revealed, including batches from FEMA, the EPA, and the White House, the National Security Council, the Justice Department, show that after that 1 year after the chaos, administration officials were still discussing the need to develop a tripwire to identify cancer clusters.
Yeah.
But months earlier, they had said all was safe. Everything was fine. Nothing to see here. Move
the
along.
EPA guy showed up in the kitchen and was drinking the water.
Yeah.
We're fine.
No danger. Don't worry about it.
Stop complaining. But yet, behind the scenes, they were ready to identify cancer clusters in the region.
Yep.
This is, I mean, there is not one tentacle of this administration, the Biden administration, that wasn't just pure evil. Just everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we got James Comer, investigating that Jill and Hunter were the ones that were selling the pardons. They're going to investigate that. So we're not done with this. Now, will anything
Because there were over 8,000 pardons. You know that? Over 8,000 that he pardoned. How many of those were for cash?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe all of them. I don't know.
So let's say you drag Jill Biden, Hunter Biden, people with the staff, go in front of Congress. We get to watch them on TV, and we're like, wow, and the left will be in hysterics. How dare you drag a first lady and the first son in front of the blah, blah, blah.
Will anything come of it?
And
is that what you're wondering?
That's the question.
Will anything come of it? You know what the answer to that is? No, nothing's going to come of it. Nothing's going to come of it. He's already pardoned everybody, right? Although,
Right.
Can you pardon for future acts? I don't know.
But if bribery is involved, can that negate that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
A mess.
It's going to be interesting, even if they find there are criminal offenses there because of the pardons. I don't know that the pardons included his wife, though. I don't remember her being pardoned.
All right. Yeah.
Reporter John Solomon broke another story on President Biden, former president, thank heaven, former President Biden over the weekend.
Senator Johnson, Senator Grassley just sent this to me a little bit ago while we're on air. It's a major development. You're taking a look at a letter right there that was just sent to the FBI Director Kash Patel and the Attorney General Pam Bondi. What does it say? It says that Congress has obtained evidence that shows that the Biden White House was directly involved in trying to help start Jack Smith's investigation on the January 6th probe against President Trump. Specifically, that the White House counsel's office secretly obtained President Trump's and Vice President Mike Pence's former phones and giving them to the prosecutors, basically sicking the Justice Department on his future competitor, his future rival in the 2024 election, so that they could look for dirt for possible crimes.
Wow. It just goes on and on and on, doesn't it?
Never ending.
Wow. So now that the Democrat Party finds itself in the aftermath of the Biden and Harris mess that they left, they're looking to new leadership like Jasmine Crockett.
Oh,
wouldn't she be great?
Please do.
She was asked what the Democrats' playbook would look like for the midterms.
What is the Democrat playbook for the midterms? Is it blaming Trump, or is it talking about kitchen table issues?
You act like I got the playbook. Listen, I mean, the winning playbook, I think, overall is just communication and education. I think that you can talk about kitchen table issues all you want to, but it comes down to actually having a rapport and making sure that people actually understand what it is that you're talking about. I don't think that we failed to talk about kitchen table issues, but basically Trump was simple and lied, right? Like he said, hey, the price of eggs are high, I'm gonna reduce it on day one. It was a very simple message. It was a lie.
Going down now.
It was not a lie.
After they went up through the roof.
No.
I mean, yeah.
Under Biden, yeah.
Let's be clear. And honestly, they may be down for the second, but
so
again.
So she's lying as she's accusing Trump of having lied. That's priceless. That's priceless. The price of eggs went up to, I think there at one point during Biden, it was over $9 a dozen. It was $8 or $9 a dozen. And I don't know what it is now, the average price, but it was under $3 a dozen, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because we were hassling Chris about charging $5 a dozen.
What's that all about?
Yes, sir.
What is that all about? You're a price gouger.
Yeah.
I'm calling Craig Abbott.
Oh.
Where's Ken Paxton when you need him? We've got a prosecution waiting for you right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yes, and I tried to sell some eggs and lyrics. So How much? I was like, $5. He's like, I get them for $3.99.
Yeah.
I'm like, then you go to get
Go
your
get them.
$3.99.
Yeah. And did they buy them from you?
No, they actually did not buy them for me.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay.
Good safety tip, Chris. Try not to price gouge in the future.
Yeah, Chris. Why is it you charge so much?
Wait, because
help us out with that.
They're pasture raised and cage free.
They're pasture raised.
I've seen Chris's backyard.
Okay, they're pasture raised
and cage free.
And cage free.
Yes.
Okay, good.
No corn.
So these are free range
chickens.
Except you have them in cages.
Yeah.
I have them in a
you have them in a
dog kennel with fences.
Okay.
So hang on a second.
So they're not ranging free though.
Where does
they are in the mornings, not at night.
Hold on. Like they're yard free. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're in the yard.
Yes.
I think you should change the labeling. It was like they're out in the yard.
Have you ever heard the Nate Bargatze bit on free range chickens?
No, I haven't.
He's like, I don't want to eat happy chickens. I want chickens who were kept in a teeny little cage all their life and were happy to see it end. They had please cut my head off because I'm sick of this misery.
Serve a higher purpose.
I don't want to eat the ones that had liberty their whole lives.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I see that, and yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. So what you sell, though, you think are happy chickens, right?
Yes, they are.
And
happy
chicken
very
eggs.
Happy.
Yeah,
too happy sometimes.
Who's the leader of the pack over there right now?
Shaniqua. She's still in charge.
Okay.
I thought it was
Yeah.
That's cool.
Figures. All right. So Democratic Congressman woman Debbie Dingle also discussed what Democrats stand for. She met Scott Jennings over on CNN. That's fun.
Union halls 8 years ago. We need to understand what working men and women want to talk about, which is economics, job security, how much food costs, what the cost of living is every single day. And Donald Trump, he's very good at understanding people's fears and his anxieties, but I haven't seen him do anything that's lowering costs right now. And when I'm home, I'm hearing it.
I'll defend the Democrats. They are for things. Illegal aliens. You're for boys and girls sports. I mean, you are for things. And that's why you have
murdering
such struggles
babies
right now in your party, because you're not for anything that's on the right side of any of the 80-20 issues that are driving this cultural divide in America. I think Westmore's actually a pretty talented communicator. The other person who spoke in South Carolina, Tim Walz, is a special mixture of extreme buffoonery and a mean spirit, which is a toxic brew. He is not the future of the Democratic Party. More is interesting. More is interesting. Probably more interesting than some of the radicals you have out there, Crockett, AOC. I mean, those are the true leaders of your party right now. But it'd probably be better off replacing them.
That's not true, and I'm not going to even let you.
That's not true. And here's the thing: what Democrats are for is for an exception.
Okay,
brother,
get out.
Jeez. All right. Well, here is White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller explaining Democrats.
Where do you think their party goes from here?
Part of the reason why they have resorted to lawfare as effectively their entire political strategy is because they have an unsellable ideology. In other words, they're committed in a popular democracy. They're committed to a series of beliefs that are 10, 20% in support. So they have to be corrupt to get anything done. Men and women's sports, as President says, completely open borders to the worst criminals on the face of the earth. People guilty of child predation, murder, even people who are guilty of violent torture and beating and killing and just senseless slaughtering. And they're let in without limitation for 4 years, right? A political party that's committed to raising taxes on everybody, right? A political party that is against the police, that wants to defund the police in your community, that wants to let rioters run free. And the punching bag for all of this are the hardworking American citizens. The people who do it right, they're the ones who are getting the brunt of it every day, economically, socially, culturally. So it's an unwinnable political message. If we can accomplish these reforms to just have a free and fair society, the Democrats are doomed. They cannot compete or operate in a fair system, which is why they have to rig it.
That's right. That's exactly right. So good. I love this guy. 888-900-3393. By the way, good news for Baghdad Bob fans. He's still alive. He continues to breathe, and he's 84 now. So, but very much alive. What a relief.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Couple of tweets for you. Not just tweets. Joe's working harder after his removal than he did when he was in office. When does Biden 2028 start? Oh, not soon enough for my money. Wouldn't that be fun, though? It would be fun. It would be fun to watch him stammer and stagger around all the time.
Go for it.
Please do.
But
Please run.
I love how he's like, they didn't run against me. Yeah, your party wouldn't allow anyone to run against you. Plenty wanted to, moron.
Yeah. Why didn't they run against you? You don't run against a sitting president. Dummy. Ugh, the worst. Nancy's vodka-soaked dentures tweets, the 100 Bidens against one Trump. There's greater than a 50% chance that some of the Bidens got lost or started fighting each other. That's for sure. Probably more than some. Be most. BYU mullet head tweets, Chris Crew should name his chickens Joe Biden. They wander around the large caged area like Joe did in his closet.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good one.
I like that. We also have this from Sarah Barra. We have free-range chickens. We only charge an amount to cover what we pay for feed. $4 a dozen. Unlike Chris, who price gouges.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, boy.
Price gouge.
Bro, it's
Called
not
out.
price gouging.
Called out again, Chris.
And Jasmine Crockett blaming Donald Trump for the egg prices spiking after Joe Biden. Bro. How many millions upon millions of chickens did he kill in the name of bird flu?
Over 100 million.
They killed the chickens.
Yeah, he did.
And then the ag secretary, Brooke Rollins, right?
Yeah, Brooke Rollins.
Remember she had the 4-point plan they were going to implement right out of the gate to lower the egg prices, and look what happened. Egg prices went down.
Yeah.
Shut up, Jasmine.
The worst. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Yeah. I just bought a dozen of 18, because they come in the nice container of a dozen and a half now, and they were extra large eggs, and I think I only paid, I don't know, $5 for that. It was really good. I thought, wow, okay, that's a big difference.
I'll charge $7.
You'd charge $7 for the 18?
For the 18.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. $5 for a dozen.
You're still gouging me. Did you hear what I just say I paid for it?
I'm just giving you my prices.
Okay, so that's the good thing is I can pay $2 more per dozen with yours.
What you do is you just casually talk in the hallway out here with Chris about eggs and chickens and stuff, and then you kind of pick up that he's overstocked right now. And then you're like, you know what, I'll give you $2 for a dozen.
Are you overstocked right now?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Too bad. So we got some breaking news out of Italy this morning. Is that right?
Yes.
We have a volcano that just erupted. Mount Etna.
Vesuvius?
No, Mount Etna.
Oh, Etna.
Yeah, again.
Oh, look at that.
Acting up.
So is it just ash, or is there lava too?
Oh, no, look at this.
The full shebang is coming out.
That's a big deal coming down that mountain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
How much warning did they get on this?
Look at it expand like that.
Now, to be fair, we sped it up because we don't have 4 minutes to to just sit here and watch. But it is sped up.
But okay, that's probably okay in this particular instance.
No, you don't want to sit here and watch it.
So what's the city beneath? Is there one? Is there a city close to that?
Oh, we have the audio. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Dang.
That is loud. Holy crap.
Mother Nature is pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa Venerina de la Protección Civil Regional Sicilia.
Okay, so there's a town called Catania that is the closest one, but that's south. I don't know which way the wind's blowing right now.
Okay.
But, my goodness, let's see here. Just trying to see how many.
Yeah, that was something.
Find out what the population is, Catania.
That just happened?
Yeah, just now. Did they get a big warning at all, or... Yeah, 313,000 people in the city, the biggest city just below there. But
do we know how far? Hopefully it's a ways, right?
Well, if the headline says Mount whatever sends scores of panicked tourists running for safety, I don't think there was any warning.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were watching it. We were on Mount Etna watch.
No.
Yeah, no,
I don't think so.
I haven't heard a thing about it. So
man,
That's crazy.
That's not good.
All right. Also, we have more from, I don't know why we keep hearing from this guy.
Well, there was a thing in South Carolina, Democrats hanging out, giving their pitch to be the face for 2028.
And they invited Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to this event?
I mean, you heard Scott Jennings mention Wes Moore, Maryland governor, who is going to be your Democrat nominee in 2028.
I can understand Wes Moore. We've already got Tim Walz, what he can deliver for the Democrats. We already saw that.
And he was making the rounds throughout the state, Wes Moore. I mean,
Wes Moore's in.
South Carolina is going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be inundated with these people. Yeah. But here's Timmy Walz.
Oh, good.
Called out on this because I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator. It's because he is. It's because he is. Oh.
Is it, Timmy?
The governor's being mean, and the governor's speaking out on that. Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. And again, I'll speak to my teacher colleagues in here. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully, to watch this bully, and to stop it. And when it's a child, you talk to them, and you tell them why bullying's wrong. But when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the out of him back. You push back.
If this was a Republican speech, can you imagine the fallout afterward? Calling for, this kind of violent rhetoric, especially against a president, it wouldn't be tolerated. For some reason, this guy gets away with it over and over and over, and they finally put this guy out to pasture, would you please? He was an awful candidate. He's an awful governor. I mean, maybe you should pay attention to your home state, Timmy. He's a lying sack and has been for decades. Lied about his military service, lied about his coaching career. He lied about his drunk driving. He's lied about absolutely everything in his life. And speaking of Minnesota, a girls softball team just won the state championship because of a male on their team who pitched 14 scoreless innings over 2 games.
Oh, it's dreadful.
And
Isn't
the
that
pitch.
fun?
Rothenberger back in the 5th. Swing and a miss here first. 0-2 pitch.
Wow.
I mean, it's just...
Marissa Rothenberger.
Marissa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's Marissa's actual name?
I don't know.
Birth name. Wow. Jeez.
Yep. So that was Minnesota.
Of course they can compete, in Tampon Tim's, Minnesota. Of course they're fine with boys playing in girls' sports. Meanwhile, here was one of 3 girls' track events that were won by a boy in Washington State but this never happens. It never happens.
Look at that. He's not even trying at the end. Screw you, dude.
Oh, jeez.
I am so...
They can just jog into the final. Look at this. How far he is ahead from the rest of the pack.
Dodo.
This is me.
Trying to finish second there. I think she does.
Unreal.
It's enraging. These blue states that are still doing this, man.
Oh, man. Well, the crowd is not happy about it. They booed when the boy was awarded first place.
Yeah. Second place, Lauren Matthews.
Second place got a huge cheer. A female.
First place, your 2025 winner in a time of 55.70 from East Valley of Spokane.
Screw you.
Veronica Garcia.
Veronica. Okay, Billy. Boo. I'm a state champion. Look at my sign.
Wow.
Your girls 400 meter.
Screw you.
Gosh.
And, I was thinking, I bet the people from the east side of Washington were booing. And I bet it was a winner from the west side. No, the PA guy said that Veronica was from Spokane. What the hell?
Wow.
I mean, that's the right-thinking side of the state.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's insanity.
Sure is. And it keeps happening over and over and over, despite the fact that we're told it's so rare. This never even happens. It's not even a problem. Well, in Oregon, the same thing happened.
Yep.
But the 3rd and 4th place girls refused to stand on the platform.
I love this.
And they were quickly ushered away from the podium by officials.
Watch this. Look at it. Turn their back. No, you have to go stand over there. Screw you. I'm 3rd and 4th place. They tried.
pathetic.
It is just enraging to see this stuff all over the place.
Over and over and over again. Isn't it interesting? It never happens to the boys' teams. Isn't that interesting? That a transgender male or a person who was a female but is now identifying as a male, they never dominate in boys' sports. I wonder why that happens or doesn't happen. What is the difference there? Huh. That's fascinating because there's no difference athletically between males and females.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, there's no difference. It's perfectly fair and acceptable for men to compete against women. So it should be acceptable for the women to compete against the men, but you never see it happen. Not once, not ever. We don't have any evidence of it happening. So, isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? Let me tell you about Beam Organics. They're proudly founded in America, run by people who share our values of hard work, integrity, and delivering results. It's a healthy nighttime blend packed with science-backed ingredients shown to improve sleep so you can wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day. Dream is made with a powerful blend of all-natural ingredients: reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. It's designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling amazing. Yeah, have you ever had the sleep aids? I took Ambien once that it kept me awake for 2.5 weeks. After I finally woke up, but it was about 3 weeks that I was asleep, and then I couldn't sleep afterward. It was just,
you overslept, bro. Overslept.
I did, and so I really paid the price for it. I mean, it'll knock you senseless, and then you have that groggy feeling too afterwards, even after sleeping for 75 hours at a time. But this is all natural, and so you don't have that next day grogginess, just restful sleep. Beam is giving my listeners the ultimate Patriot discount right now, 40% off. If you try their best-selling Dream Powder, you'll get 40% off for a limited time. Go to shopbeam.com/Pat. Use the promo code Pat at checkout. That's shopbeam, shopbeam.com/Pat. Promo code Pat for up to 40% off. Sleep better, wake up stronger, and show up ready for your family, for your work, for your country. Because when you're feeling well-rested, you're unstoppable, and this country needs more people like that.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Attorney Julie Hamill was on CNN discussing a boy named
A.B. Hernandez.
They don't call him Ab. It's A.B.
I guess not.
A.B. Hernandez in California has been winning girls' state championships out there.
Dreadful.
Not great.
What would make this fair for her to compete for those who are competing against her? What would that kind of structure in competition look
make
like?
It fair for her?
Who is her?
A.B.
Okay, A.B. Hernandez is a male who identifies as a female. What would be fair is to have Hernandez competing in the male category.
Thank you.
It is not fair to the females
or a trans category
to have to compete with a male.
Okay, so in Trump's federal funding threat, is that something though that would hurt all student athletes, including athletes who are assigned female at birth?
Assigned female at birth.
Would his federal funding threat hurt athletes?
If the money is taken away.
Right. So the law actually says that schools that do not abide Title IX or other federal laws cannot receive federal funds. So that's not Trump's fault. The problem is that the state with AB 1266.
But you understand, Julie, there's two views here on Title IX. So just to be clear, not everyone agrees with you on how you're viewing it. So in that regard, if you were to take away the funding on as it pertains to trans athletes. Not everyone agrees with you. I think we just have to be clear about that. If you are taking away the funds for athletes, student athletes in California, isn't that going to hurt all of them?
Gosh.
Taking away federal funds is going to hurt all California kids, which is why the state of California needs to comply with federal law. It's very simple.
Good job. Excellent.
So when you dig into the science on trans athletes, what is really clear is that there needs to be a lot more research on a lot more trans athletes to be able to draw better conclusions about the effect of whether gender-affirming care actually reduces or eliminates the advantage conferred on an athlete who is genetically male.
Good God.
Would you welcome more research? Is this a situation where more research might help?
Come on! We know already!
I absolutely think that more research and more careful and thoughtful discussion is necessary here. Pediatric sex change procedures are very harmful and they cause lifelong damage to children. And this is something that the United States of America needs to examine thoughtfully, and people need to be able to discuss openly without being called bigots and transphobes.
Thank you. Nice.
Yep, totally hear you. There are obviously clear benefits to playing sports, to competing in sports. So when you're looking at an athlete like A.B. Hernandez, what would you have her do? So that she can benefit from sporting.
Compete against men. Or?
I view A.B. Hernandez as the victim in this situation. I feel for him, and I feel that he has been lied to for his entire life. And it's probably very destabilizing and difficult for him right now to realize that what he's been told is not actually reality. He cannot become a girl. What he can do is compete in the male category.
Or if stick to sports. So you say compete in the male category or what?
Have a trans
or
category.
If the state and CIF want to create a separate category for people like A.B. Hernandez, and that's something that they want to do, fine. It is not fair to female athletes who have worked their entire lives for this kind of competition, who also, by the way, cannot speak out for fear of retaliation, which A.B. Hernandez's mother has personally threatened against them. So it's very unfair for our girls and women in California to have to compete with males, have to share facilities with males, and then not be able to speak up about the unfairness because people are going to label them as bigots.
Nicely done, Julie. Nicely done. So true. Wow. All right. 888-900-3393. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
With a couple of tweets here, bovine scatology tweets. Wonder if Governor Tim Walz thinks the terrorist in Colorado was fierce enough. Caffeinated Texan, Tampon Tim might seem a little more fierce if he didn't sound like he's channeling Liberace.
And just look at him. Just if you take the words out and just watch him move, the guy is so effeminate. It's just...
Yes, he looks like he's channeling Liberace.
Yeah.
I love that. You don't hear a lot about Liberace anymore. So that's fun.
Not
that's
many
a good reference.
hot Liberace takes anymore. You're right.
Not many. Conservatarians tweets, remember, ladies, if you work hard enough, you can be anything, achieve anything, until some dude comes along and kicks your ass. So there's that. Lone Wolf 2965, A.B. Hernandez. More like XY Hernandez.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
All right. Like,
yeah. XY Hernandez, what?
Yeah. There it is.
Got it.
There it is.
Cool.
We are so screwed up in our society right now.
I can't even believe this is a topic.
I can't either. Listen to how, what's her face from CNN?
Brooke, whatever
Brooke,
the hell.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. how she tries to twist reality to conform to her ideology is just insane. She's got to somehow make this male a female and somehow make it look like she's really trying to defend all females. No, that's not what you're doing, Puddin'. That's not what you're doing. What you're doing is defending a male against the females. Can we finally fess up to that on the left? You're defending men against the women. There's just no other way to look at it. Now, do you feel bad for the male who identifies as a female? Yeah. But let them compete against other trans people. I mean, there's got to be some, right? There's about 25% of the population, it seems now.
Wait, what?
Is trans. Yeah, I think it went from 0.7% to 25% in about a week. So there should be plenty of athletes.
Gosh, man.
To field that category.
And there are some parts of the country where that might be accurate.
I think it is.
True. Yes.
Jeez. If you can't compete against boys, and they can't, and it's been proven a million times, that's why they're competing against girls. Oh, man.
Pathetic, man.
Incredible. I mean, we had that story last week. The track meet. The guy who was competing against the girls that won, I think, 2 different events, maybe even 3, finished dead last against the boys just a year and a half earlier. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Meanwhile, over on MSNBC, a Harvard professor made an appearance and was asked about anti-Semitism on campus.
This guy.
Professor Smell Sanders Townsend, it strikes me that what the administration is doing to Harvard, specifically in this case, is a part of a broader strategy in some, ultra-right conservative circles, right? There has been a long war that has been waged, cultural political war that wanted to be waged on higher elite, if you will, institutions because of a perceived, if you will, bias towards conservatives.
Hold on. You should pause it right there. Because the president of Harvard has already admitted that, yes, there's been a lack of conservative voices on campus there at Harvard. But anyway, whatever.
I was a fellow at Harvard's Kennedy School, and I can tell you, I feel as though on the campuses, oftentimes there is an overcorrection to ensure that is not happening.
Oh, get out of here!
What's your take on if this is happening in a vacuum or if this is in fact connected to the broader strategy in some conservative circles?
Wait, you should pause it here.
Putting university.
Joe, how deep are we into this clip right now? Because this is longer than a Glenn Beck question. No. How far into this question? Are we 30 seconds in? 45 seconds in? Oh, my gosh.
She's droning
48 seconds into the clip.
48 seconds?
And she's still asking the freaking question.
My gosh. All right.
Higher education institutions in the crosshairs.
Well, I think that's exactly right.
It's exactly right.
Call it conservative, in that classical conservatism is committed to limited government constrained by constitutional restraints. This is more authoritarianism.
That's what it is.
Dictatorships the world over do.
Thank you, Stephen
They try to disable civil society organizations, including the press, including arts organizations, the judiciary, law firms. And we've seen this pattern from the Trump administration. And I think the concerns over anti-Semitism are utterly bogus.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. There you go.
Okay.
So, never mind. Never mind. Everything's fine at Harvard.
All of the protests, there's no anti-Semites in that crowd.
No.
Definitely not in Boulder, Colorado either.
Where are you getting that? Come on now.
You pause it at the 50-second mark as this guy's getting ready to answer this question. Because... them some interesting eyes. That's a stare down right there. This guy is intense. It's like, these are, no.
Because his eyes looked fairly normal the whole question.
Hold
and
on.
then.
There we go. Hey.
And then he lights up. Yeah!
It's even worse. Like right when he starts to answer, his eyes go all AOC on us.
I mean, there's the song, she's got Betty Davis eyes. He's got Albert Einstein hair. Almost. Let's see the close up again or the freeze there. I mean, it's close. It's not quite
There it is. That's a good job working in song lyrics there.
All right.
He's got Albert Einstein hair. Oh, go! Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Spooky. But there's no anti-Semitism on Harvard. It's all dreamed up by this Trump administration.
And you know what? They almost bend over too far backward to try to not seem liberal at Harvard. Okay. Wasn't there was a study at Harvard, and they looked at the politics of all the professors.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, there wasn't a single conservative among them. Not one. Not one. So,
and Keith is right. The president came out and said,
yeah, you got us.
Yeah.
You got
Our
us.
bad.
Yeah.
We'll work on that. We innocent.
We innocent.
So on the economic front, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made the rounds. He had this to say about inflation.
We wanted to make sure that there aren't price increases, Margaret, and thus far there have been no price increases. Everything has been alarmist. That the inflation numbers are actually dropping. We saw the first drop of inflation in 4 years. The inflation numbers last week, they were very pro-consumer.
Right.
We've
but you listen to earnings calls just like we do. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Chinese front, there was some concern that talks were stalling on getting this tariff agreement with China, and Bessent has said now
they're getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, right. Trump and Xi are going to meet in the next couple of weeks, and he expects everything to be ironed out then.
Good.
So let's hope within a couple of weeks we might have something with China settled.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Even Politico had an article last week that inflation just hasn't developed the way everybody was thinking it had or was hoping it would. And it just didn't happen. There's been no inflation since Trump, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every once in a while, the gas prices go up. They came right back down. I just paid $2.59 a gallon over the weekend. I mean, that's pretty good.
It always spikes from Memorial Day, too. So,
now
we're
and it did. And now we're, on the other side of Memorial Day. So, it seems to have come down again. Egg prices, we already talked about. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, if you include Chris in the mix, then of course your inflation numbers are going to go up.
That's what skews the numbers.
Yeah, right.
That's fair. That's fair.
It is fair. With his price gouging, they can't help but skew the numbers a bit. Bessent continued to set the record straight for Margaret Brennan, too.
The reality is there will either be less inventory or things at higher prices or both.
Margaret, when we were here in March, you said there was going to be big inflation. There hasn't been any inflation. Actually, the inflation numbers are the best in 4 years. So why don't we stop trying to say this could happen and wait and see what does happen?
Nice! That's why he's the top gay.
That's
I don't really care, Margaret.
I don't really care, Margaret. Let's deal with reality. That's awesome.
I love that. And for him to do the callback to March, fantastic. So good. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is making the rounds, too, as he tries to fearmonger about the big, beautiful bill.
This bill actually hurts everyday Americans in order to reward billionaires. It would strip away health care from approximately 14 million Americans. Premiums, co-pays, and deductibles for tens of millions.
Where are they getting that?
More will go up. Actually, if it ever were to be implemented into law,
here we go.
Hospitals will close, nursing homes will shut down, and people will literally die.
Okay. Oh, my
People will literally die.
Hospitals will close. Go back about 20 seconds. Let's hear the fear-mongering at the end of that thing. That is unbelievable.
Americans, premiums, co-pays, and deductibles for tens of millions more
Yeah.
will go up.
Will go up.
Actually, if it ever were to be implemented into law, hospitals will close, nursing homes
Whoa.
will shut down,
Oh,
and
wow.
people will literally die.
People will literally die if this bill passes.
They got nothing, man.
You don't have the card.
That's right.
My gosh.
Terrible. Woo! Good messaging, Democrats.
Wow. That is incredible. The fear-mongering involved here is...
Yep. I mean, that's the message.
It's shocking. And they're fine with it. They're fine with it. But don't forget, it's Republicans who are the fear-mongers. Wow. So people will literally die. I've noticed that they're also talking about the fact that Elon Musk, this is another Democrat talking point, Elon Musk has killed 300,000 children.
Oh, that's the next
on
clip
this
we have,
planet.
actually.
Is it?
That's Bono
Okay.
on Joe Rogan. This is
300,000.
Woo, this is a doozy coming. As you're listening to this, just remember that you're listening to a rock star who has sheltered his earnings off of Ireland, where he lives, and put them in the Netherlands. He's also invested into a company that's that was like investigated for like tax fraud or whatever. So in other words, Bono, maybe you could take some of your tax dollars and spend them on the humanitarian causes as opposed to guilt tripping us. This clip is unbelievable, and good job by Rogan on the backside of this.
Just recent report. It's not proven, but the surveillance enough suggests 300,000 people have already died from just this
unreal
cut off, this hard cut of USAID. So there's food rotting in boats, in warehouses. There is
garbage.
This will will you off. This will not. You will not be happy.
Okay, tell me.
No American will. But
okay, well, tell me.
There
then.
is. I think it's 50,000 tons of food.
50,000
that
tons
are stored in Djibouti, South Africa, Dubai, and wait for it, Houston, Texas.
No.
And that is rotting rather than going to Gaza, rather than going to
And why?
Sudan.
Why?
Because
Tell us why.
the people who know the codes
know how to get into
for the warehouse are fired. They're gone.
Get out of here.
And
get out.
So I don't know. What do you think?
But it's not proven. But what do you think?
What is that? That's
Here
not
we go.
America, is it?
Well, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Right. This is the problem. The problem is, for sure, there have been a lot of organizations that do tremendous good all throughout the world. Also, for sure, it was a money laundering operation.
Thank you.
For sure, there was no oversight. For sure, billions of dollars are missing. In fact, trillions that are unaccounted for,
There you go.
that were sent off into various... They don't even know where because there's no receipts. The way Elon Musk described it, he said if any of this was done by a public company, the company would be delisted and the executives would be in prison. But in the United States, this is standard. When Biden left office, when it was clear that Trump won, in the 73 days, they spent $93 billion from the Department of Energy on just radical loans, just throwing money into places.
Right.
And there's no oversight, no receipts. Like the whole thing is, there's a lot of fraud, a lot of money laundering.
Yes, indeed.
Go write a song about that, Bono.
Oh, my gosh. First of all, this statistic comes from Brooke Nichols. And you might be wondering to yourself, because I know I was, who the hell is Brooke Nichols? Brooke Nichols is an associate professor of global health at Boston University. And he has estimated, or she, I don't know if Brooke is male or female, frankly. They have estimated the 300,000 deaths. They're just estimating. They're just pulling that out of their rectal cavity. Just like the 9-year-old boy did when he was doing a paper for his third grade class on how many straws are wasted every year. Or this was every day. And it turned out he got this statistic of 500 million a day. 500 million a day. So everybody just started reporting it. That's what they're doing with this 300,000 deaths of children thing.
Because
somebody said it, they're reporting it.
And the reason is because they don't have the codes to get into the warehouse. They don't have the code.
Please, shut up.
What in the world?
And so all the food is rotting all over the world. And wait for it, even in Houston, Texas. Are you telling me in Houston, Texas, they can't figure out how to get into a freaking warehouse?
There's no codes.
Shut up.
There's no codes, Pat. And
weirdest.
Kick the door down.
Well, you can't kick the door down.
It's just too
50,000 tons
reinforced.
of food.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And by the way, Brooke Nichols is a female.
Absurd. Is a female.
Is a female.
Okay.
And then
so
she came
Brooke
out-
is a she.
So she came out with all this this whole survey while she was jogging. And her mind was really mean from what the Trump was doing.
Really?
That's a story.
Oh my gosh.
She was doing her 5 a.m. jog.
And she came up with the 300,000 figure.
Yep.
Okay, and that's Bono's hot take. That
Yeah.
he takes to
Bono's
the
hot
Joe
take,
Rogan
yes.
show.
Yep.
Okay.
Look at, and the thing is, this comes from the same people that are responsible for loving the deaths of 64 million children in the abortion Holocaust. They celebrate abortion, and now all of a sudden you're concerned about children? Why don't you pay attention to the 64 million that have been murdered? Well, and let's talk worldwide, since you're using a 300,000 children worldwide figure. That's 1.2 billion worldwide. I mean, this is really insane. It's absurd. And this was also reprinted, not just spoken by Bono on Joe Rogan's show. This was printed in the New York Times.
Ugh.
Is that really? So you just reprint this number that this associate professor of global health at Boston U came up with while jogging at 5 a.m. one morning, and you just reprint it? That is unbelievable.
I mean, there's so many levels of absurdity here. I can't get over the fact that a foreigner is pissed off about the way Americans' tax dollars are spent when you're sheltering yours so that yours doesn't have to go to pay for stuff like USAID.
And it's too bad because we've really liked some of the things that Bono has had to say over the years. A couple of things.
Yeah, no, there's some good stuff.
He's good on capitalism. Yeah, he was good on crediting Bush with the AIDS money.
And he does a lot of that.
Africa.
It's a 3-hour chat with Joe Rogan. They cover a lot of ground. He does give praise to Bush. He does say that he's not a fan of Donald Trump. Who cares what Bono thinks? I thought it was interesting, though, that Joe Rogan 2 or 3 times in that conversation said that America, he kind of inferred that we overcorrected with the election of Donald Trump.
What?
Do not agree with that take at all. And it's like, maybe we got back to, I don't know, a president that loves this country. That's an overcorrection. Again, I don't want to try to drop the hammer on Joe Rogan on this, but it was just interesting to hear him say that.
Yeah.
Bono, let's worry about your own situation before you start spending our money the way you see fit.
That's for sure. All right. You know what's worse than lab-grown meat? Grocery store beef pretending to be the real thing. I don't know about you, but the last time I got a steak from the grocery store, I think the packaging had more flavor, and I think the packaging was actually more tender than the steak that was inside it. You don't want to feed that to your family. It's embarrassing. They've entrusted you with the grilling tongs, right? It's your sacred duty. So you want them to eat beef that tastes like it came from a pasture, not from a petri dish. And fortunately, there's Tri-Tails beef. Tri-Tails beef is the real deal. It's a Texas ranch, family-run, pasture-raised, grain-finished Black Angus beef. It isn't just another label in the meat aisle. You know this has come from Texas with cattle that came from Texas. And you can genuinely taste the difference from the marbling to the tenderness to that rich, clean flavor. Tri-Tails beef stands up to anything out there. And if that's not enough to get you excited about Tri-Tails, let me tell you about their latest special. Just go to trybeef.com/Pat Gray, and you'll get a free pack of steak tips with orders over $249. So that's just for being one of our listeners. Feed your family the good stuff. They'll thank you. That's trybeef, T-R-Y, trybeef.com/Pat Gray.
Subscribe to Pat Gray Unleashed on iTunes and Spotify.
Oh, we got, I think we have more stats from our friend at the Global Health of Boston University.
We do,
like the
Pat.
associate professor, Brooke What's-Her-Face.
Brooke What's-Her-Face.
Yeah, Brooke What's-Her-Face.
We do. She and her team have come up with a
She's the one who estimated 300,000 people killed by Elon Musk.
Yes, but
and what
she
else?
said that her and her colleagues have also created a second tracking system that will estimate, that's now estimating, due to the cuts for the TB at the USAID, 3.65 million deaths.
Oh my gosh. So 3,650,000 more people are going to die from tuberculosis.
Yes, because of the TB prevention program got cut.
Wow. And both of these figures, the 300,000 children dead and the estimate on 3.65 million people dying from tuberculosis, all of which she pulled right out of her rectal cavity.
While doing a jog at 5 a.m.
Yeah. She just started thinking as she was jogging, I bet you 300,000 children have died. I'll bet you 3.65 million are going to die from tuberculosis, too. I mean, that is unbelievable. And then, dutifully, all the liberal publications, New York Times, Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, they'll all just print it. They'll all just repeat it, regurgitate it, vomit it back up for you.
She says that there will be an additional death from TB every 7 minutes.
That's a great stat. Every 7 minutes, an additional because of the USAID cuts done by DOGE.
So this is her thing, pulling numbers out of her ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Right there. Oh,
Good
that's
gig.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Wow. 888-900-3393. There's more on the way.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
A couple of tweets. Critical pathology tweets. The Harvard professor looked like he was talking about the space aliens riding the tail of a comet.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Sarah the band, great.
White.
So I've died from the ozone layer, Y2K, net neutrality, tax cuts, winter of death, summer of death, DOGE cuts, and now I'm going to die from the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
Dying is exhausting, isn't it, though? It's really true.
That's a T-shirt.
Really true. And there's more. There's more. We haven't even gotten to all of Associate Professor Brooke Nichols' predictions.
Okay.
Brooke Nichols, Associate Professor of Global Health at Boston University, has estimated 300,000, mostly children, will die due to the cuts to USAID. 3.65 million more are dying and will continue to die.
Which is one every 7 minutes.
One every 7 minutes from, is that the same thing?
TB.
From tuberculosis. Yes. Right. And then there was one other, at least one other source of death.
Yes, so
to quite a few people.
Currently trying to finalize an impact tracker due to the cuts to Medicaid.
Oh, okay. The non-existent cuts.
No, Trump is cutting Medicaid.
Oh, okay, the cuts. He's actually going to cut people off Medicaid who aren't supposed to be on it. Those are the only cuts being made to Medicare, Medicaid.
So she's working on an app or something?
It says a tracker. I don't know if it's an app or a
Okay,
website.
So the tracker's not quite done yet, but does she have an initial? She has an
preliminary estimate on how many people will die.
Oh, good. How many?
28,785 deaths.
Wow.
Which is one additional death every 18.3 minutes.
Man, people are just dropping dead right and left from this thing. Holy cow.
Kiss your loved one goodbye this morning, please, because you may
everybody's
come
dead.
back and...
By the end of the day, pretty much everybody's dead. Why stop at 300,000, 3.65 million? Why not just say 100 million? A billion people are going to die from this stuff. I mean, that's just as legitimate as any number she's tossing out. That's pathetic. Oh, my gosh.
And what an... I don't know. She throws in for effect this odd flex that actually makes it even more mockable, that she gets up at 5 a.m. to go for a jog. Look
and that's
at me,
when she
I'm
thinks
health
of this.
conscious.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
well, I mean, she is the associate professor of global health at Boston University,
I
Keith.
gotcha.
Oh, man. That's... And again, it'll just be dutifully reported.
Right, exactly. That's how this stuff happens.
Yep.
You make a stat up.
Yep.
Pull
it right out of your rectum.
Irresponsible.
Darn near killed him.
Publication like the New York Times publishes it. An uninformed rock star reads that.
Yeah.
Then goes to a massively huge audience of Joe Rogan.
11 million people.
And then spews that fact. Fact. And now we're going to be hearing that
forever. Even though Bono got some pushback from Rogan on that, which is good. Chuck Shazam Bartowski tweets, hey, Bono, I remember tons of steel border wall material that was meant to protect us rotting and going to waste as well.
Excellent point.
That is a great point. However, not to Bono, because I'm sure the wall was really hateful and awful and would have killed millions
more.
of people in Central and South America.
That's 2 every 78 minutes.
2 more people every 78 minutes.
78 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So this is good news, though. I do have some good news. The FDA has approved another vaccine, another COVID vaccine.
It's about time.
It's our third one. mNexspike.
I'm sorry. What?
mNexspike.
Hold on. Here it is.
There it is. mNexspike.
Or if you say it real fast, you can say
mNexspike.
mNexspike. See?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have no idea how they pronounce it, but I know that
mNexspike.
They're just shoving it.
So
in
that's
their
my
face.
next spike protein that's going to cause me all kinds of heart problems.
How ironic, huh?
I found that very ironic.
These people.
That they use the spike protein in the name. That's unreal. But it adds an important new tool to help protect people at high risk of severe disease from COVID-19. According to Stefan Bancel, who's the chief executive officer at Moderna.
Sell me on it.
We appreciate the FDA's timely review and thank the entire Moderna team for their hard work and continued commitment to public health.
No thanks.
And you know what else? Here's some really good news. Okay. This vaccine is also safe and effective. Okay? Yeah, they told us it is. They said it's just as safe and as effective, if not a little bit more effective than the initial one. So now how much do you want to take it? I want to go out and get a dozen shots today.
Some people will.
I know. Please don't. Please don't. I'm not a doctor. I'm really not. I know I sound like one, and I give that impression that I've got some sort of doctorate degree.
Did you
but
stay
I don't.
A Holiday Inn Express last night?
No, I didn't even do that. I stayed in my own bed last night. So that shows you that you probably shouldn't listen to this. But my medical advice is don't get this one either. I mean, this is unbelievable. And apparently, it doesn't say in the article I read. Is it mRNA as well? I'm led to believe it is with the M thing before mNexspike.
Yeah.
So it's got a spike protein. I think it's mRNA. I mean, how many times do we have to go through this?
Your body is overdue for another spike.
Right. Too many people lived through the first round of this.
Yeah. We're going to fix that, though.
We're going to fix it.
Roll up your sleeve.
Yeah, we're going to kill. How many people did Pat Gray estimate are going to die from this new vaccine?
Give us the fat cheeks, Pat. Give us the fat cheeks.
Well, the fat cheeks are this. Right now, I'm actually working on an algorithm right now that is going to correctly predict and estimate the number of deaths we'll get. But it's not quite.
Do you have a preliminary?
My preliminary figure is everyone dies. Everyone who takes it. That's my preliminary guess.
Can you give us in time?
Congratulations. That's more accurate than you realize.
Within a month of taking it, everybody who takes it dies. So that's just, again,
preliminary.
That's preliminary.
I wonder if we'll ever know the stats on how many people rolled up their sleeves for mNexspike. I seriously wonder if we're ever going to hear that, because
I want to.
I want to know what.
Come on.
Because wasn't it 81% of Americans took at least one dose of the
pretty high.
COVID vaccine?
I know that.
I would like to know what percentage of Americans will take mNexspike or whatever the hell this thing is. Okay.
All right. But speaking of all the people that DOGE and Elon Musk have killed, Elon, the world's richest person, was actually honored on Friday at the White House.
Yeah, it was good to see the two together again.
Yeah, it was.
Musk and Trump.
And here it is.
Just as an example, DOGE canceled $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, $101 million, and that was just a small section of the Department of Education. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City, and the landlord never made the kind of money that he made in the last short period of time. $59 million to a hotel in New York City, $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. In Burma, does anyone know about Burma? $42 million for social and behavioral change in Uganda. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. I can say it's $2 billion to Stacey Abrams and her environmental movement. There was $100 in the account, and all of a sudden they found $2 billion in the account. And I assume that's being looked at. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I assume that's being looked at. Think of that, $2 billion. And then Lee will tell you there's another one over there for $20 billion being spent on another environmental question. $20 billion, not 20 million, a lot, not 200,000, which is a lot. So think of it, in her case, you have $100, and now all of a sudden she gets hit with an infusion of $2 billion just before I take office.
Right.
$20 million for Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. Nobody knows what that's all about. Nobody's been able to find it. $8 million for making mice transgender. So they spend $8 million on making mice transgender. And those are better than many of the others. I could sit here all day and read things just like that, but we have other things to do. So it's much, much more than just that.
Oh, yeah, that went on. And he gave him a key, like a big old... It was good to see them hanging out.
Was it a key to his heart?
To his heart, yeah.
Key to the city?
Key
What
to
is
the
it a
heart.
key to?
Key to America.
Key to America.
Yeah, all right. Well, good.
Yeah. So
he deserves it. He deserves it. I mean, I feel bad for him. He worked dang hard. You know what he made last year from his company? Nothing. Zero. They made such a big deal out of his salary a couple of years ago that he took zero salary last year. And he lost tens of billions of dollars.
I don't doubt it.
In the whole debacle with Tesla after the DOGE situation.
Yeah, and he's getting beat up by his 5-year-old kid, too.
Yeah, well, that's right. Gave him a black eye.
Give him a black eye, yeah. I think we have a picture of that black eye.
Do we? Oh, we do?
Okay.
We have a picture? Or do you need this? I didn't see it on the sheet, so I just called this up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he
it's
told
a
his
mini black eye, but it's a 5-year-old. So
yeah, he told him, he said, punch me in the face. They were horsing around, and so he punched him in the face and got a black eye out of it. That's a good kid. That's a lesson learned right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bet he won't ask him to do that again anytime soon. Meanwhile, do you remember the Nazi salute he gave that everybody went nuts over? Check out this Nazi salute from Cory Booker.
Oh, no. Oh my. Yeah, I see. That's all I saw there.
Go back. Let's see that.
Oh yeah. Same thing. Sig Heil all the way right there from Cory Booker. See that?
There it
That's
is.
all
Look at that! Look at that!
Yeah, clearly.
That's an absolute Nazi salute!
Whoa.
Oh, good gosh. And of course, everyone knows that's not a Nazi salute. That's not what he's doing. Just as everyone knew that wasn't what Elon Musk was doing.
Okay.
Everybody knows. But I love the response from, for instance, conservative influencer Sarah Rose posted after seeing the video from Cory Booker. I'm literally shaking right now. Cory Booker is literally Hitler. So good. Because that's what the left did to Elon. And she said, I can't wait for fake news to cover this as extensively as they did Elon when he gave his heart out to everyone, which is what he was doing. And that was the same gesture from Cory Booker. But it's fascinating, isn't it? To them, that's not going to be a Nazi salute. No, he's just giving his heart out to people. Okay. All right. Whatever.
Yep. And Bill Nye never got called on his Nazi salute either.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Let's see that one from a couple of weeks ago. That one looks more like a Sieg Heil, doesn't it?
Do that again.
Oh, man.
Look at that guy.
Hey!
Whoa!
Oh, wow. Heil!
Easy.
Jeez. Look at that. What is that about? Whoa. Holy cow.
We need to bring back trigger warnings because that just triggered me.
I'm literally shaking right now.
Look what happens. He's literally shaking.
It just threw me off so bad.
Oh, are you going to be able to do the show?
Bill Nye is giving Nazi salutes.
Got some bad news for you.
Bill Nye is literally Hitler.
Okay, that might be true.
You do have more?
I got bad news for you.
Oh,
It's June now.
Yeah.
So it's...
What does that mean?
Well, it's Pride Month.
Gay month.
Yeah, that's right. So are we all... Do we have the rainbow thing
now?
Groomer Street... Sesame Street posted a nice little tweet for us there if you want to get that picture up on the screen. Look at that. All right.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? That is absolutely beautiful.
What?
How could you not love that?
Bert and Ernie not holding hands, though, I see. That's got to be awkward, huh?
Yeah.
Because I heard they were gay. That's what I've been told. So, on our street, everyone is welcome. Together, let's build a world where every person and family feels loved and respected for who they are. Happy Pride Month.
Do we have to do this for that to be the case?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know a place where anybody is forbidden to live on the street. Do you know a place like that? I mean,
can you tell me how
it's illegal, and B, people just don't do that. And there might have been a time when in America every single immigrant was subject to that kind of stuff.
Wait.
Germans, Italians, Irish, whatever you were, yes, you got a little razzing when you came. In fact, a lot of discrimination and a lot of razzing. But we got over all of that, and we came together. I mean, that's a bunch of white people against other white people. It's just kind of weird when you think of it. But anybody with an accent had a problem when they came here for various reasons. But I think we sort of moved on from that. Did we not?
I don't know.
Kind of seems like it to me, but I guess on Sesame Street, they want you to know that if you're gay, I guess you can live in the neighborhood.
Sure.
So that's a relief. Because I bet a lot of gay people were just planning to move to Sesame Street.
And you couldn't before?
No, you couldn't.
Oh, okay.
No. In the 70s, they wouldn't let you.
Oh.
They wouldn't let any LGBTQIA2 plus members live on the street
and
at
you hate
all.
to see it.
I guess they can be gay now since they're HBO Max. They're not a PBS anymore.
Yeah, PBS and then the other.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I think.
But
day after or something.
Yeah, I forget how that works.
Yeah.
Is it day after?
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. So they can't show it day of, but they can the next day.
Yeah. You want to see this montage that the Daily Caller put together of some of the brainwashing of your children that
More
Sesame
than I want to
Street
live
has been doing over the last few years?
More than I want to live.
This is pretty interesting stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Elmo, but I have to say it's wonderful to actually see all of you. It also sounds and looks like you and your families have been staying healthy.
Oh, I have a way I've been staying healthy, Dr. Sanjay. Look.
Oh, she got back.
have a boo-boo?
Is that
No,
mNexspike?
because this is from my COVID vaccine. My mommy and my papi took me to get it this morning. See, my mommy and my papi said that it will help keep me, my friends, my neighbors,
In
my
the
abuela,
hospital,
all
heart conditions.
healthy.
Your parents are absolutely
Healthy.
right. You know, COVID vaccines are now available for children 5 years
Oh,
and
thank
older.
goodness.
And the more people who get them, the better we're going to be able to help stop the spread of
stop.
COVID.
Okay, right. Okay,
It's
yeah.
mNexspike.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, Mama doesn't understand. What's happening? Why are all these people together?
Oh, well, they're gathering together to protest. A protest is when people come together to show they are upset and disagree about something. They want to make others aware of the problem.
Oh.
And
And steal
I'm
their
bringing this
stuff
sign
and
to the
break
protest at the
down
community
windows.
center later.
Wow. This is a nice spin on BLM. That's really good. That's a good
People
spin.
are upset because racism is a huge problem in our
It's a
country.
huge
On
problem.
Sesame Street, we all
Kidding me?
love and respect one another.
Holy crap.
Across the country, people of color, especially in the black community, are being treated unfairly
Oh, my
because of how
Someone
they
had to
look,
say it.
their
God.
culture, race, and
When are we going to have that discussion?
who they
Will
are.
that ever happen in this country?
And racism too. I want everybody to be treated fairly.
Welcome back to the ABCs of
Wow.
COVID-19, CNN and Sesame Street Town Hall for Children and Families.
Elmo has a question for Dr. Sanjay.
Oh, okay.
Elmo's seen lots of people wearing masks outside, but it's not Halloween.
You know, just like doctors wear masks in hospitals when they
Yeah.
take care of
Tell
people,
me.
you're going to see people now wearing masks outside as well.
Not in my
And
family.
the reason they're wearing masks like this is to protect people in public from their germs and things like that. They don't want to spread your germs, and these masks can help with that.
No, they really can't. But
Yes, the masks are a way to
Yes.
prevent you from spreading germs, even as you just breathe. Well, Elmo,
Can't
how
believe
old
it.
are you?
Elmo's 3.5.
Well, then, yes, Elmo, you should wear a mask. Children under 2 years old do not need to wear a mask.
Why?
But children older than 2 years old should
Your
wear
logic
a mask
makes no
when they're
sense.
out in public and they're around people.
I hate these people.
well, there you go. Okay.
Elmo.
Wow.
But I have to say,
I can't take any more of the Sesame Street
Nope.
stuff. Ugh, jeez.
Good stuff, huh?
That's great. Yeah, that's great. That's going to go well, I think, in the Middle East, isn't it? Especially the LGBTQ
Oh, they're gonna
rainbow stuff.
love
They're going to
this.
love that.
Oh, they're gonna love this.
They are going to eat that up. And, you know, in the Middle East, nobody's more diverse than they are. Am I right? Who's with me on that? The diversity of the Middle East rivals the diversity in Japan, let's say, for where 98% of them are of the same ethnicity. 98%!
We suspect that you have a Jewish character on your program. Can we address this?
Jeez.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Wow. Also, over the weekend, there was a big attack by Ukraine on Russia. They sent in a bunch of drones.
This was a year in the making, sneaking them in through big rigs and putting them in cabins. I mean, gosh.
And apparently they've got a range of, I don't know, it was 4,000 kilometers.
No one
that
knows.
could be 4 feet.
Yeah, no one
it
knows.
could be 40,000 miles. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows
Some of the
how far
bases
that
they
is.
attacked were in Siberia.
Yeah, it was a long way away. But I don't know that they came from Ukraine. Like you said, I think they came into the country, and then
they've been
launched
moving
them
in for
Russia.
a year.
Yeah. So they were launched from trucks, and this seemed pretty successful. They supposedly destroyed 40 Russian bombers, like $2 billion worth of military hardware.
If you think that this war is going to end anytime soon, think again. Russia's so pissed off right now.
Oh, they are. Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, they've been attacking Ukraine with these bombers, and Ukraine's a little tired of it, and so they did something about it.
Russia calling
I
it
think that's great.
terrorism?
Terrorism.
No, it's
Shut
called
up.
war.
Right. Yeah, they also apparently, I mean, nobody knows. They called it mysterious, but a couple of bridges blew up and trains crashed. So
Oh, no, not
I
the
think they're
trains.
working on that too. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal were in Kiev over the weekend promoting Graham's Senate bill that would impose big-time sanctions.
Yeah, listen to this. Do you think
Russia.
Trump approved this message ahead of time? I don't know about that. Listen to this.
The game that Putin's been playing is about to change. He's going to be hit and hit hard by the United States when it comes to sanctions.
Oh, okay.
China, the game you're playing with Russia is about to change. If you keep buying cheap Russian oil to fuel Putin's war machine, there'll be a 500% tariff on all of your products coming into the United States.
What is oil?
There's a good segue with the Russian or with the
He
Ukraine
doesn't understand
flag.
what 82 senators coming together from both sides of the aisle mean in terms of practical import. And these sanctions will cripple his economy. They will be bone-crushing
Heard that before.
to a nation
Bone-crushing.
that is basically, as one of our colleagues once said, a gas station with nuclear arms. He has one resource, and we are going to throttle that resource.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Is the president? I mean, the president talked about certain things happening to Russia that wouldn't be good if he kept up what he was doing. So maybe that's what they're talking about.
Okay.
Hopefully they're together on this. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess we'll see. All right. Well, we've done all the damage we can do for one show. We'll continue to do some on overtime and then be back to try again tomorrow.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.